Champs up, shooting shots, they just want me to fade. But my game made when I'm getting buckets today. Crossover, pull up, bet you fall for the hezzy. Game 7, prime time is butterflies on your belly. Now can you do it? Folding under the pressure, boy, can you do it? If you going, show 'em who better. Don't let the game slip and don't get caught in the lights. Crown me, yeah, Jordan taking off on the flight. Give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can be done. They said it can't be done. Give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can't be done. They said it can't be done.
Is frustrated. He wants the same call on the other end.
That's an animal.
Is frustrated. He wants the same call on the other end.
That's an animal.
That's 100% an and one.
He's off his feet. There's contact at the hip, lower body,
and changes his.
I was just gonna say.
Got you, Dor.
What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great morning of the Morning Hustle Show. I am your host, AB, and this is the Morning Hustle. As you can see here, man, it was a tough night last night. Let's get all the pleasantries out the way. I'm your boy host, AB. This is the Morning Hustle Show, brought to you by Open Gym, powered by Philly Sports Network and Metro Philly. As you can see, continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. Stay connected with us and stay up to date with everything we got going on here. But yeah, man, as you can see, last night, our Sixers are back in action. The home opener, exciting. Basketball is back. The NBA is back. Like I said, it was yesterday. It was only 2 games on, but a host of games was on last night. So I know it was a lot of fun. Betting and everything else that was going on. But the NBA is back in full effect, and let's talk about it. Our beloved Sixers, as you can see, they had a home opener last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, Dame came into town. As you all know, prior to the game, starting, obviously, Joel Embiid wasn't going to play. Also, Paul George as well. He hyperextended his knee. I want to say the game before the last preseason game of this season. No Embiid, no Paul George. It was already. I know we had we got a new roster. A lot of people that we like, a lot of players that we feel like will definitely contribute to this team this season. But like I said, when you're missing 2 top 25 players, arguably one, obviously if healthy, talk about top 5 player and Joel Embiid as well. You're missing 2 guys like that, and you still got, like I said, another 2 other top 25 players in the NBA, and Dame and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the other side of you. It's an uphill climb, essentially like that. Going into it with Tyrese Maxey, being the lead guy, but you had the guys like Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Eric Gordon, Gershon Yabusele, stuff like that. So last night, as we know, Sixers lose to the Bucks 124. If you didn't know, 124 to 109 last night. The Bucks came into town. Tyrese Maxey led all scorers for the Sixers. Played 35 minutes, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Andre Drummond chipped in with a double easy. That's already coming with 10 points, 13 rebounds. Kelly Oubre was the second leading scorer with 21 points, 2 rebounds. Not too much after that. You got Eric Gordon, 2. Caleb Martin, 12. Gershon Yabusele hit a couple of threes that he gave you 10. Kyle Lowry gave you 13. Then there was a lot of garbage time because it was a blowout towards the end. So a lot of the younger guys like Ricky Council, Jeremy McCain, Adam Bona, guys like that got into play. So, Yeah, so like you said, missing two guys like Paul George and Paul George and Joel Embiid, and you gotta face Damian Little, who just went absolutely nuts in the third quarter. Essentially blew a wide open, gave him the 20-point lead. He ended the game with 30 points, 9 rebounds. Giannis chipped in with 25 points and 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Brook Lopez, did what he did. He actually rebounded today, 10 points. They believe he had about 6 blocks or something like that. But overall, like I said, it was competitive early. The fans was in there. The juices was going. Everyone was excited. I know once the news came down that Paul George and Joel Embiid wasn't going to be playing in this game. A lot of tickets were up for grabs essentially at that point. So even though, people would have been there, people still showed up essentially where I'm getting there. Even though they was available, people was trying to sell them since the big guys wasn't playing. People still showed up. So the fans came ready. They was definitely down there. I was able to attend the game as well. Definitely was down there. It was packed out. It was a lot of juice early. It was a lot of juice in the arena. So they definitely came with fans definitely came with a sense of optimism and just excitement overall. Just like, let's see what you guys give us. Let's see what we saying we have this deeper roster. You're saying that we have this better bench, more depth, things of that nature like that. Let's see what we can do. Can we still be competitive? And for the most part, the first half definitely was competitive. I believe we actually led the game, I want to say, between 2 or 3 times early in that first half. So not about big margins, but definitely was competitive. But like I said, once that third quarter came around, Damian Lillard just went berserk, essentially like that. And side note, being there, looking at that game, just, like I said, I'm a fan of the game, so still being able to see Dame and Jan and stuff like that, whatever, even though I'm rooting for the Sixers, but looking at, I don't know, just looking at Doc Rivers, it's just like he just aggravated me the whole night. Just looking at Doc Rivers, like the way he just stood there, the way he was screaming, and it was just, I don't know. It's just Doc Rivers. I don't know. He just annoys me now. I don't know. He definitely left here. Definitely with a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths, essentially like that, being here prior to going to Milwaukee. But off that guy. But like I said, still being there without the guys. They competed first half, was in it, but like I said, the third quarter came around. That's when it pretty much Dame just took over essentially, like, because they, other than the rebound, and Giannis, he had some plays early, but he was pretty much held in check. But once Dame opened up the floor and started hitting just any three he wanted at the moment, it opened up the floor so much, and then it was time for Giannis to start, putting the icing on the cake with a game like that. So good fight by the team. I want to talk about that and get into it a little more as far as in detail what they need to do. But I got a clip here I want to show with Maxey, who pretty much he really capitalized my thinking leaving that game essentially like that, because I know a lot of the talk right now is obviously the Joel Embiid situation, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on this show as well. I want to dive into that a little bit with the whole no back-to-backs and missing the game home opener and things of that nature. So we're gonna talk about it today. So you're on the stream on this show right now. Just like, comment, share, but let everyone come in here. We're gonna talk about it. But I want to leave you with this video with Maxey, and I just want this basically how I feel leaving this game, and then we'll dive into the game and see and break.
It's not. I'm not about to sit here and say that just because Joe was out, that we played bad. I mean, yes, we did not win the game, which is the ultimate the goal. But we've been without Joe all preseason, all training camp for the most part. He's been ramping up, so we have to go out there and execute what we worked on. I mean, it's not just, this team is not us winning, it can't be solely on Joel Embiid. Like, it just can't. That's not. There's no championship team out there that is solely like if Joel doesn't play and if we lose every single game like that, we can't win like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like tonight we got to make shots and we got to keep playing the right way. And I think we'll be better. I'll definitely be better. So I'm not gonna worry about that.
And that's pretty much how I left that game. No Joel, no Paul George. And granted, like I said, it was a tough task. We're talking about Giannis and Dame. So I didn't think I'm not taking that this specific game that just passed saying they should have won this game, because going into, could they have? Absolutely. But I say could they have is because he said it right there. And you gotta love Tyrese Maxey, man. Just I love his growth, maturity, him stepping to his own, trying to be a leader. These are the type of things that we want our leaders and our stars of our teams to be like. We praise Bryce Harper, and at one point Jalen Hurts, when you say the right thing, but obviously on the floor is what matter. And he pointed to one factor that I wanted to point to, that just for this particular game, if the Sixers just make some shots, this is a whole different game. He said it. If we just made some shots, Maxey, he was out there, he was trying, and I give Gary Trent a little credit. He definitely didn't totally stop him. Like I said, Maxey still scored 25 points, but he definitely was, on him, pestering him, bothering him a bit, but between the refs, and we get to them in a second as well, and then them just being able to make shots. We're back to this situation where we got one person on the floor that can create for himself and no one else can. Kelly Oubre, he went and got some buckets. He get a little bit of creator, but we get to some decisions that Nick Nurse made on the floor. But I just want to get to some percentages. Like I said, you're talking about the Sixers shooting 41% from the field versus the Bucks 53% from the field. Total field goals, Sixers made 41 of the 98. Just make some shots. And where, like you said, the Bucks made over half of this, 43 for 80. 43 for 80 from the field. So you just got to make some shots. And then 3-point percentage, you want to break it down. The Sixers shot 25% from three versus the Bucks. Like I said, and most of that was Dame, because Dame absolutely went off in the third quarter. But Brook Lopez hit some. Taurean Prince hit some. Gary Trent, I believe, hit one. So they shot 43% from 3-point and made 16 of the 37 3-pointers that they shot, and we only made 8 of our 31. Rebounding is better. As you can see, Andre Drummond, he had 10 in the first half. So, I don't even think the first half in India, he had 10 in like the first and a half of the second quarter. Total rebounds, we out-rebounded them 49 to 46. We had 17 offensive rebounds today, 8, 32 defenses, 38. But we rebounded better, so obviously the second chance points are there. We just got to hit our shots. So that particular game, it was just a make or miss league. Like I said, Maxey was out there, he was going, but a lot of the defenses was shadowing to him, sending an extra man at him. And like I said, good job at times that Gary Trent Jr. was on him, and he played some good defense. But then on the other side of that, if we make some shots as well, there was a lot of opportunities as well. And I'm mad I didn't go look and see who the refs were or remember who the refs were last night. But the refs was absolutely, and I'm not even a ref guy unless it's just egregious, where it just looked like that's just a dang shame. But I just played the clip at the start of this show where Maxey just he can't buy a foul anymore. I mean, you would think 5 years in his career, endorsement deals, an all-star bid, in awards for community work, all different types of things. Max contract player now. You think he would get something? I mean, look, they explained it so eloquently at the start of this. Look at this.
Frustrated. He wants
Like,
the same call on
what
the
does
other
he have
end.
to do? And this was
that's
going on
that's
all night, and that's
100%
an
an
and
and
one.
He's off his feet. There's contact at the hip lower body.
And changes his.
I was just going to
I got you,
say.
Dor-
That's an and one. And they didn't even call it like, is this going to be another year of Tyrese Maxey getting the unfair whistle or the rookie whistle, as they call it? You got to earn your stripe. I believe he's earned enough stripe to, like, come on. I know it's Giannis. I know it's Dame. But, like, even if it was for the fact of the matter is keeping the game competitive, knowing we ain't got Embiid or, like, is he going to get a fair shake? Well, that remains to be seen. But overall, Maxey, he played well as he could, and he said it even in the clip that he know he could play better. Absolutely, he missed some shots that we know we've seen Maxey make. Kelly Oubre, like I said, still playing the way he's playing. I love the energy, defensive, but Kelly Oubre is Kelly Oubre. We just needed people to make shots. We needed people to make shots, and then I guess this would go into the aspect of the Nick Nurse situation where you're looking at Nick Nurse and the decision making of who to play. Like I said, Gershon Yabusele, I know that's the power forward from the French national team. Got his fame to claim. Dunking on LeBron in the Olympics and things of that nature like that. He showed that he's definitely going to be a rotational player. Not as athletic as I seeing him in person, he's not as athletic as I thought he would be. But he hit a couple threes, so he definitely can be on the floor because he can space it. I think he definitely can get lighter. He look a little big to me because he's already isn't athletic. He doesn't really jump high or anything like that because there's a lot of rebounds I believe he could have gotten, but it was just a lack of athleticism not to want to, so I'm not sure. I'm not an expert at this, but again, I'm just looking at what I see on the floor, and I know it's like, okay, I can see the areas where it's like, okay, where he struggles at. So I don't think he's going to be the biggest of rebounders when he's out there, but offensively, he definitely hustle. He can get an offensive board here and there, get a putback, hit a three if it's open three. But again, another player can't really create for himself. Eric Gordon out there, he's older. He hit a three. That'll get better as the season goes along. So I don't think he's just going to shoot terrible for the whole season, but that'll get better. Caleb Martin was out there. He was in a bit of foul trouble early, so we really didn't see a full slate of what Caleb Martin could be, what he could be for this team, because again, he wasn't out there on the floor enough to really display it. But when he was out there, he showed why he's going to be a contributor. Like I said, at times he was on Giannis, defending him one-on-one in the post, being able to switch off, getting defensive rebounds, getting offensive rebounds, all those things that we expect from him. He hit a couple nice jumpers off the bounce, 3 or 2, a couple of mid-ranges I seen as well from him. So that definitely was good to see from him. Who else we got here? So just to like I said, get into it, all those players are there, and all those players that I named aren't really playmakers in themselves. Like all the time could go create. So the only person out there that was consistently able to do that, Kyle Lowry was there, but he's older. He hit a couple of nice shots, but can he create? So this goes back to Nick Nurse and some of the substitution. And it's early. Let me start there. It's early. I know the rotations and things that definitely are going to get better over time as the season goes along. You're seeing what works and what doesn't. Like I said, guys like KJ Martin, guys like athletic guys that can defend and stuff, but can't create. So that goes back to Nick Nurse's. You got a guy like Reggie Jackson that's on the floor that can create. So moving forward, like I said, I'm not going to harp on it too much for this game. But moving forward, maybe those are just some of the lineups that Nurse wanted to try out first. But definitely moving forward, I would like to see, and I believe, me personally, I believe, because at some point you're not going to be able to ignore the fact that you have someone like that on the floor. I'm not on the bench. I'm not saying Reggie is all world beater, you know, needle mover, but he does have these like Reggie games. He does have these Reggie moments. He can get on the floor and give you a spark. Basically, like how like Campaign did, but I believe can be more better and more efficient as well because, like I stated, ball handler, he can create. He doesn't need someone to set him up. So I would like to see him be utilized a little bit yesterday, last night, on the floor, knowing that he can, create off the dribble to the bucket, hit the step back three, even got a mid range come off screens downhill. So moving forward, I would like to see the integrated like that because I believe in a moment like that we needed someone like that because at a point in time, the Bucks were just literally just honing in on Maxey. Long as Maxey don't get the buckets, Maxey essentially kept them afloat for the most part of this game. So long as Maxey doesn't go off and he hit 30, because if you had a 30-piece game for Maxey, that's something different. He hit in his threes and things of that nature. You get a 30-piece, you stop a 30-piece game for Maxey and let everyone else score. And as you see, I ran down the point, the scores. Like I said, outside of Maxey scoring 25, Kelly Oubre the only one to score 21. And then you got a 10 from Drummond, a 12 from Caleb, a 10 from Yabusele, and a 13 from Kyle Lowry. So I don't think he's hurt anything like that, but I would like to have seen him be utilized yesterday for sure. So we'll see how that goes as the season goes along, because on the other side, it was funny. Nick Nurse was arguing a call because this back to the ref situation. We can't get a call for Maxey, but Giannis, throw elbows left and right, left and gets every call. And it was funny in court. I gotta love Kelly Oubre at times. Like it even court Kelly Oubre mimicking what Giannis is doing. And they're just giving him every call. I think I have let me see. I think I have the video. Like it was funny to me. Just seeing that. It's crazy. Like what are you doing? Like what are you doing, Kelly Oubre? Like, so to me, that definitely it's literally someone put some music to it and everything. It was simple. It was silly. It was silly. It was just silly. I know Giannis is Giannis. It was just silly, but like Maxey not getting any calls. It was just silly. But like I said, Sixers fall to the Bucks, 124 to 109. Like I said, moving forward, I don't see any. There's no need to panic. I see a lot of panic. I see a lot of, the season is over. We're terrible. We suck. This is the first game, and I know that's cliche, but these are my reasons when I speak about when I say it's the first game, and Maxey's literally capitalized. Like, we're going to make shots. Eric Gordon is going to make shots. I just told you he shot 25% from three last night. We shot under 50% from the field in general last night. That's not going to continue. And then every night, and it just is what it is, it's the NBA. Every night you're not going to play Giannis and Dame. So you're going to have, and even though they they won last night as well, even though you have your Charlottes and things of that nature to come up where, if you're missing, the big guys, Paul George and Joel Embiid, you should still be able to, handle them. And overall, they will be back. Like, when? That remains to be seen, and that's what it will move us into the next subject, where it all stemmed from, where it all started is from the Embiid, no back-to-backs. It all stemmed from, the article this quote that he gave, mentioning, and then even, Daryl Morey and guys at the Sixers organization even confirming that sentiment that, yeah, like it's gonna be pretty hard for him to play if any of them at all, whether it's something wrong or something not wrong with Joel Embiid, that remains to be seen. And I want to play a clip here by Nick Nurse the other night. I believe it was pregame. Just saying things like this doesn't help, things when you say certain things. So let's just listen to Nick Nurse real fast, and then I'll give my thought.
Re-injure himself. But the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
Again, I get it. I absolutely get it. Those are not things I want to hear either. Not strong. What do you say? Not strong enough, not light enough. Any of those things are determining. Like, then what is it? Because it's either one or the other. And obviously, it's something that the 76ers do not want to disclose, obviously. And like I said, it's either end of the spectrum, whether it's something's re-aggravated or they're just taking the extreme aspect of precaution. Maybe there is a target weight. Maybe I know coming into the training camp, he is reported and confirmed that he lost 30 pounds. Okay, 30 pounds from being 280. Maybe they want him even lighter than that. You're talking about only being at 250 now. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't know, and this is just speculative. I just want to try to break down a lot of different things when it comes to that. Is it more weight that they want him to lose? Maybe that is the thing. Because again, the man was ending seasons at 270, 280. He lost 30 pounds. Again, you were talking about being only like 250, maybe 245. But easily 250. So maybe they want him to be around 240, 235. Maybe there is a target weight that they want to get him even further under. And taking the extra precaution of trying to utilize the time to get him to that weight without having him actually being on the knee, running on the knee with the weight that he is now. Taking that extreme precaution. But again, there's that other aspect as well. He did play in the Olympics. We cannot gloss over these things. I understand what they're telling us, but I can't also argue the fact of what we're seeing when all reports led to him going to be able to play the game this week are now put to us, and and we're talking about the day before or the day of even that now they're not here. He's not playing. The day before, I believe he's not playing at all. So when the people think he re-aggravated something, like I say, he played in the Olympics. You can't argue that, especially when the track record shows he's been injury prone. I believe it was a graphic I've seen that over the 500 games that Joel Embiid has played in his career, he's only played. I mean, out of the 500 games of Joel Embiid's career, he's only played, I believe it was like 370, like 5 or 76 games out of it. So 200 and something, over 250 games, that's a lot of games missed out of 500. So for people thinking of that matter of should should he is he hurt? Did he re-aggravate something? You can't combat that neither though. So and then with the organization being so tight-lipped about exactly what's going on, you have these both extreme sides of the spectrum. There's no meaty point. So you can't argue either side because I would say this as well as an organization, as a GM, as a president, as an owner, as a coach, and as this being your prized possession that you just newly signed a contract with. So basically, the next 5 years is basically the window that you're going to try to go for it all. Signing PG along with it, and then signing Maxey to the extension, and then all these players. This is essentially the window that you're trying to go for. So I can see them taking the extreme caution with this and making a collaborative effort on what is the best thing to do. And it is even with some reporters, the nurse even, mentioned that as well, that, the Sixers are, there's a group of them between the doctors at one that's leading it. Nick Nurse is in the room. Joel is in the room, obviously. Obviously, Daryl Morey and GM Elton Brand, maybe even the owner at times. All this is a collaborative effort of what is the best way to make sure Joel Embiid gets to the playoffs. This is what we signed up for as Sixers fans with this. Well, we might have not signed up for it. I'm not going to say that because we want a healthy player to go out and play. But for our best chance to win with Joel Embiid, because there is no other person we can get unless you're willing to just trade him and then start over, and then God knows how long before you get someone. You can say Maxey all you want, and I love Maxey to the utmost. I don't think he is nothing he can't do. But that's a tall task, as you can see last night by himself, to just, take over a thing like that when you got two stars on a lot of different teams. You're gonna need them. Now, I just rather take the route of not wanting to go the route of going how knows how long, and prayerfully we either get signed someone in free agency or draft someone. And everyone looks at Boston and say just draft. Boston probably did the most impossible thing they possibly could have done, being able to draft all those players on top of being good already. When we know our Sixers organization, this is probably the most competent we have gotten in years. Not saying they're perfect at all, but this is the most competent I've seen our front office to be. So if this is a collaborative effort, and like I said, Nick Nurse did state that at the end of the day, this is a moving, flowing thing, whereas they're going to take the best course of action to be able to get Joel Embiid at his healthiest position possible for the playoffs. And back to what I said, as an organization, as a GM, as a president, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, Nick Nurse, as a coach, you have to protect your investment, even from himself. Joel Embiid stated it, training camp, that this year he got to tell, he let them know to tell him no. Because at times he just wants to play. We glorify our athletes to play through injury. We glorify our athletes to get up, dust it off, and keep on going. We glorify our athletes to play hard. So he's living in that. He's going to do that. He tried to do that. Hurt every year. So I can't fault the organization from sitting here to want to take the approach of protecting him from himself and taking a different route. We tried to draw away Joel Embiid. We tried to draw away fans as far as just throwing him out there anytime he say he want to. For a couple years now, playing through meniscus tear when we know we should have just got his surgery early on. He could have been back for the second half of the season. Things like that. Let's just rehab it. Don't get the surgery. So, possibly even doing more damage than not. Speculative, obviously. But again, that can lead to why they're taking the approach that they're taking there. Let's not rush this thing. Let's get him as healthy as he possibly can, get him playing as much as he possibly can, and get him to the playoffs as healthy as possible. And I'll throw this at you. When speaking about this team and this season and overall the foresight of this season, leading into trying to get to the playoffs. I know people speak of the Joel Embiid situation and continuity between players. I believe in that wholeheartedly, and especially in basketball when it comes to your core players who have to go get you that championship, those guys having to be on one accord, and we all know our three and Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. I understand that and I believe that, but I believe, in my opinion, is this season can be a success, and I can see a glimmer of light, like glimmer that if we can just get to that light, we can punch through it, and that's Paul George. And I say this. I look at the depth, I looked at the surrounding players that Daryl Morey went out and got. Paul George, even, Maxey. I believe the regular season is theirs. I know that might sound crazy. I believe the regular season is theirs. And what I mean is that I believe the organization is going to, obviously, I already said, limit how much Joel Embiid plays this year. So if I had to take a guess as far as a number, how many games he plays, I say a target that they want to reach is maybe, let's say, 60 games. A good one is maybe 65. If it's just like, all right, we snuck 5 games in where he had a good time and he was able to get through it in minimum interest. So 60 to 65 games, if he can get through that, they're good. For me, this season is more so the fact of, okay, Paul George, Maxey, that's your 1-2 punch during the season. You got a good bench and good role players that should really contribute. Eric Gordon, Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, Gershon Yabusele. Guys like that, Kyle Lowry, Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond. You got NBA professional players. You don't have, I'm not bagging them, but there's levels to this. You don't have the Paul Reeds. You don't have the Shake Miltons. Nick Batum was nice, but you don't have those type of guys here no more that had major deficiencies, whereas like they can, they just wasn't cutting it. So you got veterans plus young guys, athletic guys, and you seen some of that last night, offensive rebounds, things that nature, scrappiness, falling on the floor, diving on the ball, stealing the ball, defending upright, one-on-one, switching off. They showed all that last night. That's why I see promise in that as well, defensively as well, especially when PG and Joel come back. But you got all those guys, and you got Paul George, you got Tyrese Maxey. I believe if they could develop, and I'm speaking of Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, develop a chemistry, develop a rapport throughout the season, I believe that's more beneficial for this team this season than trying to trot Joel Embiid out there every second of the day. Do not get me wrong. I am not sitting here saying if Joel Embiid is healthy and he's ready to go, he should not be on that floor. Not one bit. Joel Embiid, if he's healthy, hit whatever targets that they need, health-wise, that they need to hit. You already not playing back-to-backs. He should be on that floor playing basketball in the NBA with this Philadelphia 76ers team. Hands down. We can throw that out the window. You can't say that AB ain't say that Joel Embiid shouldn't be playing or I'm taking a pass on him. Heck no. Joel Embiid, if healthy and whatever benchmarks is needed to be made with the doctors and the organization are made and all checks are made, he should be on that floor. Like I said, no back-to-backs and already not practicing all the time already. He should be on that floor. But as far as chemistry-wise, where we've seen in the past in the playoffs where you needed, where it was too many times where if Joel Embiid wasn't on the floor, it wouldn't work or things just don't go well. Even when we had James Harden, he wanted to beat the show. So Maxey really couldn't get off like he needed. But we never had a tandem like this from guard forward to center in years. I believe the guard forward could be so great if they could get it together. If they can build that chemistry together. That's why I believe if those two guys, it would get grow together and the chemistry builds with them, Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. I believe that's more beneficial for this team moving forward and in the playoffs if Embiid has to miss time, because I do believe you can still win playoff games. Yes, playoffs games if you got contributing players, the role players doing their job, and Maxey and Paul George still going to be going off. I do believe Paul George has that much left in the tank in him that he can still take over a game. We've seen it just last year alone. And then the approved Tyrese Maxey not having to be by himself, having a co-star like that with the depth pieces and the bench pieces being there, helping that matter. Rebounding, defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, hitting your threes, playing defense. I do believe Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, chemistry together bodes more beneficial for the Philadelphia 76ers than Joel Embiid forced to play as many games as you possibly can just to appease the sayers of saying he should play regardless. Whether you like it or not. Granted, if you healthy, play. But I'm like I said before, I'm not going to argue the fact of the organization doing something different now. They gave him his shot of playing all the time. Now we're going to try to limit your playing as much as possible to be able to get you as healthy as possible to the playoffs. I believe more because I believe we can definitely still move in the playoffs, win playoff games with Paul George and Tyrese Maxey being at their peak level in their game and also in their chemistry. And then if you add Joel Embiid into the mix, that can only enhance it, because we all know Joel Embiid is the system. You know where Joel Embiid is going to be at. Joel Embiid is going to be at the high post, working from the mid-range. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. So that's what I believe with this Sixers season going forward. I see promise. I see a lot of growth that can be had. Trade deadline will be up. Can't wait for the trade deadline show to come up to see where we're at as a team. To see if what needs to be made. Obviously, I can see now that if we can upgrade in certain areas, absolutely we can. I see that already. But let's see what we can build with who we got, who we know we need to stay, who can build value that can upgrade us if need be. And then let's see how the guys gel together and get together and start playing when it comes to the big three. Like I said, 0-1 on the season, home opener. The next game for the Sixers. Excuse me. Next game for the Sixers. It's tomorrow. Actually, that'll be Friday. What's today? Today is Thursday, so it'll be Friday evening, 7 p.m. against the Toronto Raptors. This will be in Toronto, so it's a away game. So look forward to that game. Let's see if Paul George will be back. I didn't talk too much about him missing the game because we all seen what happened to Paul George. He hyperextended his knee playing basketball. But we gonna see if he's back for tomorrow's game. If not, most likely, from what it sounded like prior to the season starting, it doesn't like he'll be out long. So maybe they'll give him this week off and then get him going next week. But we'll see. We'll see if he'll practice, if he travels with the team, all the things of that nature. So, side note, we all know Saquon Barkley, our guy, won Player of the Week this week. NFC Player of the Week this week, deservingly so, absolutely. Great game against his old team in MetLife. We talked all about it. He was actually the bell ringer at the Sixers game against the Bucks, so that was dope. He had the bedazzled jeans on, so that was dope when that happened. So it's good seeing him. We won Player of the Week. That was dope. Other than that, like I said, Sixers, we good fans. I ain't mad at you if you want to say, something's wrong with Joel Embiid. Some of the secretiveness with the coaches and things of that nature doesn't help that. With them being secretive, not saying much. Is it the weight? Is it the strength? Is it a setback? Is it not? Are you just being extra precautious? Are you just wanting to make sure he's healthy as possible for the playoffs? But I do believe the chemistry between Paul George and Tyrese Maxey will bode well and more beneficial for this Sixers team moving forward and in the playoffs and winning playoff games and series than it is Joel Embiid and forcing him to play as many games as possible because we just want him to play. That's just my belief. You let me know how you feel. Talk about it in the comments. And this your boy AB. I want to leave you with this, with Tyrese Maxey once again, because again, he bodes all my sentiments. He with this game specifically, and then even moving forward in the season, this team is going to be competitive. This team can be competitive day in and day out. They just got to be locked in, true to themselves, and hit shots. Let's go, Maxie.
I'm not about to sit here and say that just because Joe was out, that we played bad. I mean, yes, we did not win the game, which is the ultimate the goal. But we've been without Joe all preseason, all training camp for the most part. He's been ramping up, so we have to go out there and execute what we worked on. I mean, it's not just this team is not us winning. It can't be solely on Joel Embiid. Like, it just can't. That's not. There's no championship team out there that is solely like if Joel doesn't play and if we lose every single game like that, we can't win like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like tonight we got to make shots and we got to keep playing the right way. And I think we'll be better. I'll definitely be better. So I'm not gonna worry about that.